So you want to learn how to code, but every time you look into it, it just feels overwhelming, right? Well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to cut right through all that noise and give you a super clear, actionable roadmap for learning one of the most popular and powerful programming languages on the planet, Python. All right, let's get into it. Here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big why. Then we'll help you figure out your personal goal, because that's super important. After that, we'll lay out a step-by-step plan, talk about the magic of building actual projects, see what's on the horizon, and finally, we'll hook you up with all the best resources and communities out there.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about the why. Out of all the languages you could possibly learn, why does everyone always recommend Python? What makes it such a killer skill to have in your back pocket?
And here's the real magic. It's how these three things work together. Python's syntax is so simple, it almost reads like plain English, which makes it perfect for beginners. But don't let that fool you. That same simplicity is what makes it powerful enough for companies like Netflix to use it for basically everything, from running their website to the recommendation engine that knows exactly what you want to watch next. That's versatility.
Now let's move on, because this next part, this might just be the most important step you take on this whole journey. Before you even think about writing a single line of code, you need to choose your quest.
And this is the absolute key. Your why is your compass. You know, learning to code just to learn to code, that's tough. But if your goal is to write a script that automatically sorts that messy downloads folder on your computer, or maybe build a simple website for your book club, that motivation is what will pull you through when things get tricky.
And here are two of the most popular paths people take. On one side, you've got automation. Just imagine writing a tiny program that renames and organizes hundreds of your vacation photos in, like, 2 seconds. Game changer. Or maybe you're into web development. You could use tools like Django or Flask to build the powerful back-end engines that make modern websites actually work.
Or hey, maybe your goal is to dive into the incredible world of data science and AI. This is where Python absolutely shines. You could use it to sift through mountains of data to find hidden patterns, or even start building the kinds of machine learning models that power everything from your Spotify playlist to self-driving cars. This is the future, and Python is your ticket in. All right, so you've got your quest, you've got your motivation. Now for the how. Let's break down the actual training regimen, a clear, totally manageable plan that'll take you from zero to hero.
This timeline breaks it down perfectly. Look, it's not a sprint, it's a journey. In your first couple of weeks, you're just going to focus on the fundamentals. That's it. Then, for about a month, you'll shift into the most important phase, learning by actually doing stuff. After that, you'll be ready to look at more advanced topics and really start to specialize.
So what are these fundamentals? Well, think of them like Lego bricks. You start with the absolute basics, like variables. Then you learn control flow. That's how you teach your program to make decisions, like a little choose-your-own-adventure story. You'll get the hang of data structures, which is just a fancy way of saying you'll learn how to organize information, like in a shopping list or a phone book. And finally, functions, which are like little recipes you can write once and use again and again.
Okay, now for the most effective and honestly the most fun part of all of this, taking what you've learned and actually building something real. This is your first step into creating.
Seriously, you can watch tutorials all day long, but the knowledge only really clicks when you get your hands dirty and try to solve a problem yourself. That's when it all starts to make sense. So the question on the screen is a real one. Are you ready to build something?
And you've got to start small. The goal here isn't to build the next Instagram. It's to make those fundamentals stick. A simple calculator makes you practice using variables and functions. A guess the number game is a perfect way to master loops and if-else logic. And a file organizer? That's a real-world tool you could actually use every single day.
So, once you've got a few of these small projects under your belt and you're feeling more confident, it's time to start looking toward the horizon, at some of the more advanced and powerful stuff.
You'll learn about object-oriented programming, which is just a smart way to organize your code for bigger projects. You'll learn how to work with files, like pulling data out of a spreadsheet. You'll start using Git and GitHub. Think of it as a superpowered save button for your code that also lets you collaborate with others. And finally, you'll specialize with libraries. These are toolkits like pandas for data analysis or Django for web development, depending on the path you chose.
Now, through all of this, the most important thing to remember is that you are not doing this alone. There is a massive world of resources and communities out there ready to be your support team.
And this slide points you to some of the absolute best. For a great interactive course, Python for Everybody is a free university-level class. If you're more of a book person and you want to build useful stuff right away, you can't beat Automate the Boring Stuff.
And when you get stuck, and trust me, we all get stuck, communities like the r/LearnPython subreddit are full of helpful people who've been exactly where you are.
So there you have it, the complete roadmap from that very first line of code all the way to specializing in a high-tech field. The path is laid out, the tools are there, and the community has your back. We've given you the map. The adventure is all yours. So the only question left is the one right there on your screen. What are you going to build first?